Hey guys, Kev here from Real Fit. So today, as part of the results environment educational part, we're going to go into now how to maximize your training. So obviously, the training and diet stuff that we do here is obviously pretty structured and pretty well laid out. So obviously you guys get to do a lot of what we do here, a lot of the classes that we do, and obviously reap the benefits of that. And obviously being unlimited, you obviously get to train a lot more frequently than sort of the other models that we have here. So the 2 and 3 times a week training, you guys actually get to do 4 or 5 times a week if you want. But the truth is, it's not how many times you can train in a week that's going to make the massive difference. It's about how many effective training sessions you can have in a week that are going to obviously make the difference from there. So you could have 2 training sessions a week, but if you put everything into those 2 training sessions and mold everything around those, you'll get the best benefit, much more than someone that does 5 or 6 sessions but does them half-assed or doesn't maximize their training as they go through it. So hopefully what we'll explain here is how we maximize what we do. And obviously, because you guys get that unlimited process, you can do 4 or 5 sessions a week. If you can nail those 4 or 5 sessions, just imagine the results that you can get over the period of months and years and all the rest of it from there. Okay, so that's what we're going to try and sort of feed into it each time from here. So I've broken it down into 3 different sections. Obviously, none are more important than the other. The idea of maximizing your training, obviously, is to basically set yourself up to succeed. You can't really, guarantee anything in life, but the more you put into the preparation and getting yourself ready for each session, the more likely it is you're going to succeed. You're going to push forward and actually have a great session and get the benefits out of that session. So in terms of the training, how do we start off with? Well, it's important to be 100% focused. Obviously, understanding that when you come into a training session, that you're not kind of doing it half-assed and you're going into it knowing exactly what you're trying to get out of that session. Now, we've obviously implemented our new sort of periodization layout, and something that I've worked on with the groups here in terms of hitting those 3 different energy pathways. So knowing what you're doing within a session, obviously at the start of the week, you know when you're going to come in, it's going to be a push session, it's going to be fostering, so you know it's going to be powerful, you know it's going to be strength related, so you can focus and get ready to push as heavy weights as you can, understand the weights you've lifted before and trying to maybe beating the weights you've done from there, or getting a few more reps with the same weight. Those sort of things are what you can then concentrate on for that training. Or if you know it's going to be a glycolytic session and you know you're going to have to push yourself, maybe you're going to do a plank and it's going to be like a 45-second plank, and you know that you really struggle with your plank positioning, so you've got to really concentrate on getting the right mechanics and getting ready for there. The one thing you don't want to do, obviously, is not have the focus in that session. Now, something we don't allow within Real Fit is obviously that free open gym environment thing, where a lot of people come in and I haven't been in a commercial gym now for a few years, so I don't know if it's the same, but obviously you have people that sit there on their mobile phones in between sets, not really paying attention to what they're doing in that particular time. They're not in the moment. The great thing about Real Fit and the great thing about what we do here is because it's that tutor-led session and you're in the group and you're in that environment, you don't get that opportunity to really take your mind off of the session. So we help you try and keep that focus within the session there and keep trying to educate and tell you what you're going to do, so that you guys can prepare yourself mentally and be focused and be within that session, rather than thinking about, the shopping you got to do afterwards, or going to pick up your kids from school, or all the other things in life that are going in there. It's actually just about that session, 100%. Nothing else is in your mind, and you're trying to execute everything perfectly. So that's what being 100% focused is. And the more focused you can be on what you're actually doing and why you're doing it, then obviously the better results you can get out of it, because you'll put more emphasis onto that. Okay, obviously that comes down to muscle recruitment as well. When you do an exercise, we will try and educate you in terms of which muscle groups you should be feeling that exercise in, and where you should be trying to target your mental capacity to try and get the most out of that exercise. So, as I say, laser focused, sharp edge on there. You've got more chance of doing that here at Real Fit, but obviously there still could be improvements across the board for people. Everyone can improve that a little bit more, focusing on the session and trying to really dial in on what they're doing each time. Understanding your why, okay, the motivational aspect. So something we talked about in motivation and discipline, and something that we will continue to talk about, and try and get into the actual reasons why you're doing this, why you want to improve, why you want to, lose weight or gain muscle, or whatever your goal may be, or just to move better. You need to understand exactly what that goal is. So something we'll try and build into your sort of monthly, weekly regime is to try and understand that why, and trying to set yourself the goals. Obviously going through the SMART goals, being specific with your goal and everything else from there. So set your SMART goal, and then from there you know exactly why you're doing the process from there. So on those dark days when the motivation is going and it's starting to wane, you know exactly why you're doing it, and that will hopefully push you back into the mark and get you back in that focused mindset from there, and something we can keep reminding you of and helping you towards. Okay, guys? So really, setting those goals is going to be of major importance to you as you're going through your training process, and it's something that you should be doing. Use efficient movements. Okay, this is quite simple. The way you've got to think of an efficient movement is something that's going to get the most out of the least. So a squat, for example, is better than a leg extension. Okay, leg extension is where you're sitting on the chair and obviously you're extending at the knee and working your quads in isolation. A squat obviously is when you've got a weight on your back, or when you're holding onto a weight, or even if you're just doing it free weight with just the body and you're squatting down and standing up, still working those quads, but obviously now we're obviously incorporating the core, we're obviously incorporating hamstrings and glutes, we're operating the upper back, everything's working together as a whole unit. So you're working many muscles, getting much more out of the exercise. And you know, isolation is important, but it's not as important obviously if you haven't got the time. If you want to try and get as much in the least amount of time, well, our sessions are obviously normally about 45 minutes, but obviously of training time with the warm up and the cool down, you've probably got about 25-30 minutes max where you'll actually be training. You want to get the most out of it by utilizing the most efficient movements. So that is your squats, that is your pulls, that is your pressing, that is your lunging, okay, that's your rotation, all the movements that we go through each week here at Real Fit, what you should be focusing on when you're in that session, and that will get the most out of that training. Okay, as I say, we can add isolations. If you know some of the classes we do work on particular muscle groups as well and start pushing those a little bit more. But in general, the whole body is trained every time you walk into the gym, and that is going to get you the best results in your training over the long run. Okay, so that is your training sorted out. Okay, you're 100% focused on what you're doing. You're understanding why you're doing it. Okay, that's that motivational part, and that will push you towards it and give you that, you know, you'll put more effort in because you have that motivation to go forward, and you're utilizing movements that are going to get the most out of the least. Okay, so, you know, squatting, pushing, pulling, all the rest of it. So what's next important? So next up is the nutrition. So this will help, you know, basically with your nutrition is what your goal is. It will set your goal for you, and then your training will enhance that result that you want to get. So this could be argued is more important than this, but actually they're both as important as each other. So with the nutrition, first things first, eating for your goal. So once you set your goal, once you understand your why, your motivation, obviously then you can then start setting up your nutrition to suit that. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain weight? Do you want to maintain, but you know, just feel and move better and train a little better? Okay, those are all good things. Okay, so you've got very much aesthetic goals where if you want to lose a bit of weight, to look a bit better, to feel a bit better, to move a bit better anyway. And then you have more performance-based goals where you could be eating towards, you know, just lifting a particular weight, or going, you know, being able to do a particular activity that you couldn't do before because you know you're out of whack a little bit and you need to get yourself back moving better and feeling better. Okay, so eating for your goals is very important, and if it's something you don't quite understand and how to do, then obviously we will help you out with that and start educating you in the right processes of what to do. Eating the right food, so eating whole foods, eating unprocessed produce, so eating your fruits and your vegetables and your lean meats if you're a meat eater, or you know, vegetarian or vegan based proteins that you can get as well. You know, making sure you hit those macronutrient portions. So your macronutrients is your protein, it's your carbohydrates, and it's your fats. Making sure you get the correct micronutrients in there as well. So you're getting your minerals and your vitamins that are going to help you perform at your best. So eating for your goal is very important. It's very much, you know, everyone should be living off the same sort of very basic structure of, as I say, unprocessed produce. But then there's a little bit of tweaking for individuals to make sure that people have got the right ratios of those macros for their body type. And also there's little tweaks for depending on what goal you are setting yourself. So obviously someone who's trying to build mass and trying to get bigger will probably want to eat more carbohydrates, want to eat more fats even, because they want to get more calories into their body and obviously get their proteins at the right levels as well. Somebody who's looking to lose fat will probably look to drop some carbohydrates and fats to take away the calories, but keeping protein again quite consistent, because protein really doesn't need to be messed with too much. Whatever your goal is, you should be getting more protein in to perform at a better rate. But that is for, again, another video from there. That gives you a brief understanding of eating towards that goal. Fuel your training properly. So this is something that happens more regularly than we probably want it to happen, more regularly than we want to admit, really. Where people are coming into a session and then one person in the group, or when you're doing some PT with someone, they will start feeling a bit faint and not performing very well, and then they'll come out with it and they'll admit, they think, oh, all I've had today is a banana, or all I've had today is a sandwich, or even worse, I haven't eaten anything all day, and I've come in here and now I'm feeling a bit faint and I'm feeling a bit sick and not very well. And that's going to happen because what happens obviously when you're training, you're putting your body under stress. And when you put your body under stress, what it starts doing is it starts sending blood to different areas of the body to try and deal with that stress. And if it hasn't got the appropriate fuel within it, the appropriate sugars for the energy that's going to use, then obviously it drops down its energy levels. It drops down the sugar levels and everything else, and you have a bit of a crash. And then the body starts getting a bit drained. You start feeling a bit dizzy, a bit sick, because your body's trying to slow you down, trying to stop you from this high stress activity you're going to do. So ensure before you come into a training session that you've fueled yourself correctly. Okay, you need to ensure that you have something to eat. If you're not a breakfast sort of person like myself, I mean, I don't generally have breakfast in the morning, but before I train, I will always have a protein shake about 10-15 minutes before I train, just to ensure I have something in the system, make sure I've got the amino acids from the proteins pumping around in my blood for when I train. That is something that I find that I train better with. I don't really train very well when I've got food inside me. So if you're like that, then that is understandable, but you still need to ensure that you have something inside you with some proteins in it, and sometimes with some carbohydrate-based stuff, so maybe a bit of fruit or something that's going to give you some sugar and some quick release energy from there as well. It's not going to be set in stone what you do, but just ensure that you're fueling yourself through the day and getting from there. If you're training in the evening, I would definitely recommend you have something through the day to fuel yourself later on for that day, because going for the whole day without eating a thing and then training later in the day, your body's going to be at a pretty bad state by then. It's already done a whole day's worth of activity and been through there. You're going to be pretty sluggish and not really feeling it from there. So try and get in some breakfast, try and get in some lunch, or have some lunch if you don't want to eat breakfast, and then getting some other supplementation or fruits or something else through the day. Just make sure that when you come into your training sessions, you've had some appropriate fuel, because otherwise when you get into there, you'll find more likely than not that your body will not cooperate with you and it will start crashing down and you'll not get the training effect that you want. And then drinking water, something again that really I have to remind people again and again to do. And I know, again, it's something that can slip your mind. I do it myself some days where I don't really get the amount of H2O that I want to get into my body. But you should be drinking between 2 to 3 litres a day generally for most people most of the time. For bigger individuals and people that exercise a lot, then obviously that might be a little bit more. For smaller individuals and people that don't exercise very regularly, that could be a little bit less. But 2 to 3 litres seems to be the average that most people will benefit from and get all of the positives from in terms of hydration and performance. So when you want to perform at your hardest, when you want to exercise, when you want to do any activity, obviously you're going to sweat a lot more. When you sweat a lot more, you lose a lot of hydration out of your body. I don't have the exact figures, but it would be at least 2 to 3 litres a day. So you've got to understand that you're basically putting the sort of H2O back into the body, allowing your organs to work, allowing the muscles to work properly, allowing everything, all the functions in the body to work, because we are 70% water. So at the end of the day, we need the water within us for every single organ, every single molecule within our body has to operate from that H2O, it works from water basically. So it needs to be put back into the body, not just from coffee, not just from teas, or not just from fizzy drinks or anything else from there. It has to be water. You have to ensure that the majority of it is water. So have a 2 litre bottle with you at any time, have a litre bottle with you at any time, have a pint glass with you at any time. Just ensure through the day that you're knocking back 2 to 3 litres. You can break it down however you need to make it easy for you to work. Just a sports bottle or something that you can just carry around with you all day. It's not really going to get in the way of your work. It's not going to get in the way of anything else. Just ensure you're hydrating through the day consistently and getting that 2 to 3 litres in, and that will help maximise that time that you're in the gym, because you'll be performing at your very, very best. Finally, we move on to lifestyle. So with lifestyle, what we're talking about is obviously what you do outside of the gym. Okay, so obviously if you've got your nutrition right, you've got your training right, you're going to get some great results. But then what do you do, for the other, sort of 23 hours that you're not actually inside the gym training? So make time to train is something that probably as an unlimited person you do anyway, okay? But understanding the mental process of that, understanding the have to the get. A lot of people say, I have to train 3 times a week, I have to train 4 times a week, I have to go to the gym today. The word have is something that, it means that you're almost being forced to do it. Whereas actually training and actually, being physical and actually being able to get out there is a gift that we are given. You know, there are people out there in the world that don't get that opportunity to enjoy their bodies as much as we do. So rather than thinking about what you have to do, think about what you actually get to do. Okay, and if you turn that mindset around and you actually change that sort of focus, then actually you realize how blessed you are to be in that gym and going forward from there. So look at how many times a week you can train, and then every opportunity you can get to book in, to go into those sessions or to train yourself at home or to go out for a run or a bike ride with family, anything like that, just think about what you get to do. You get to do those things. So enjoy them, get that mental process in the right direction, and be positive about what you're doing through the day. Okay, that will make a massive difference to how you actually look upon your training and how you look upon what you're doing through the time. Get 7 hours plus sleep a night. This again is another thing, like the water, okay, like things like the sort of nutritional side of things from there. If you're not getting the very basics right, you're not going to get the most out of your training. You're certainly going to get, you know, some results out of your training, and there's plenty of people that probably sleep 4 or 5 hours a night and can be fit and can be healthy, but that's not for the majority. You need to ensure that you're not staying up watching the latest series on Netflix, you're not wasting your time procrastinating on your phones, you know, you're getting yourself ready to go to bed at least 7 hours, I would say, but 6 hours probably you could push it, but 7 hours is normally, you know, just about right, and up to about 9 hours is that little window of opportunity, 7 to 9 hours. It gives your body opportunity to rest, it gives your body the opportunity to recover, release all the good hormones that it needs to release to be able to recover and to perform at your best in the future. So try and make sure that you're getting those 7 hours as many times a night as you can. Sometimes you might not be able to, sometimes you might be forced to, you know, sit down and watch the rest of that series on Netflix and you know, put that extra episode in there. But I implore people to try and get at least 4 nights. You know, that's just over half of your week. You can get 4 nights or 7+ hours sleep a night. You'll feel and look and perform much, much better in the gym and outside of the gym. It's massively important, and it's something that is overlooked by a lot of people. Get that sleep in there. And finally, just enjoy your body. Okay, as I said in this very first bit here, we get that opportunity to train, we get that opportunity to enjoy what we have, and there's many people out there that don't get that opportunity. So when you're doing things, just enjoy what you do. Enjoy the training effects that you're getting, okay? You may not look like the cover model that you dream to look like over the next couple of weeks, months, years, okay? You may never look like them, but you are you, and you do look perfect as you are, and you, as long as you are living life and you're enjoying it, then that's all that really matters. Okay, there's people that have come to Real Fit and they've been in a real bad way, and coming to Real Fit and actually improving their fitness and feeling and looking better has helped them achieve many more things than they could thought possible. And that is the way that we like to help people out and get people to start thinking and start moving forward. Okay, so enjoy your time with your family, enjoy your time with your friends, enjoy your time in the gym. Everywhere you are, just enjoy it and be positive and move forward. And with all that positivity, everything clicks into place, and your training becomes better, your life becomes better, everything around you becomes better, in that positive mindset and positive sort of look on things of what you're doing. Okay, guys? So I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. I hope you got as much information out of that as I was hoping to give to you. Any questions, obviously throw them to us. We need as many questions as we can to help us give you guys as much information as we can. So the more questions you have, the more input and the more information we can put out there. Okay, guys? So just be awesome. Enjoy your time. I hope you've enjoyed these training videos. There'll be plenty more to come for you guys. And as I say, I'll see you around the gym, and have a great time. See you later, guys.